You already know they're not good for you. You've replayed the memories 1,000 times. You've told yourself, I deserve better. So why are you still stuck? Why does your heart still go back to someone your mind has already let go of? If you have ever felt this way, this video might change how you see your healing forever. There is a painful truth most people don't talk about. Moving on is not about logic. It's not about willpower. And it's definitely not about time. You don't stay because you're weak. You stay because something inside you is still emotionally attached, even if consciously you are done. And until you understand what that something is, you will keep going back emotionally, mentally, energetically. Let me tell you a story. There was someone who knew the relationship was over. No more texts, no more calls, no more good mornings. Everything was silent. But inside, chaos. They kept checking their phone, not because they expected a message, but because a part of them hoped. They replayed the last conversation, analyzed every word, every pause. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they just needed space. Maybe they'll come back. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And even though life moved forward, their heart stayed in the past. Not because they didn't try to move on, but because they didn't understand why they couldn't. If this feels familiar, here's what's really happening to you. For one, emotional addiction, you're not just attached to the person, you're addicted to the feeling they gave you. The highs, the validation, the moments where you felt chosen, seen, wanted. Your brain doesn't remember the pain as strongly as it remembers the pleasure. So even when the relationship was inconsistent, toxic, or emotionally draining, your mind kept saying, but what about the good moments? And that's how emotional addiction works. It doesn't trap you with reality, it traps you with potential. Number two, unfinished emotions. Another reason you can't move on because your emotions were never fully processed. You didn't get clear answers. You didn't get a proper ending. So your mind keeps trying to finish the story. That's why you replay everything. That's why you imagine conversations that never happened. Because your brain is wired to see solution. And when it doesn't get it, it creates loop. You're not stuck on them. You're stuck in unfinished emotional experience. Number three, identity attachment. And here's the deepest layer most people miss. You didn't just lose a person. You lost a version of yourself, the version of you that felt loved, the version of you that believed in forever, the version of you that imagined a future with them. So when you try to move on, it feels like you're letting go of yourself. That's why it hurts so deeply, because it's not just heartbreak, it's identity loss. You're not struggling to move on because they were the one. You're struggling because you're still holding on to a feeling, a story, and a version of yourself that no longer exists. And healing begins the moment you realize you're not meant to go back and live it. You're meant to outgrow it. So, if you're still thinking about them, if part of you still hope, if moving on feels harder than it should, there's nothing wrong with you. But there is something unfinished inside you. And instead of asking, why can't I let them go? Ask yourself, what part of me am I still holding on to? Because once you heal that part, you won't need closure from them anymore. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.